Welcome back, explorers. This is Joel Hunt, the Natural Explorer. Today I'd like to talk with you about the chicory plant. Now, you may have seen the chicory plant growing along roadsides. It likes disturbed areas. It's a perennial plant, which means it comes back every year, and it grows about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. It's fairly easy to identify because the leaves are at the base, and those are called basal leaves, and they look very similar to a dandelion leaf. The stems themselves are naked, and the flowers come in both white and purple, and they only bloom once per day. Now, the interesting thing about this plant is that the flowers will start to bloom around 5 a.m. and they'll be closed up by mid-afternoon. Now, this is a very useful plant. Let's start with the flowers. So the flowers can be used to brighten up salads. The sap that's within the stem has been used as an aid for constipation for children. The leaves can be steeped in water for tea. Bruised leaves can be used if you have an insect bite or a minor cut or some sort of rash. You just bruise it and place it on the wound, and it draws out those toxins. And then the leaves can also be used to dye fabrics, but the most important, probably the most familiar people are with the chicory plant, is the root. So the best time to harvest this root is after the first frost. That's when the plants are shutting down and they're sending all their sugars down to the root, and so it's got the most carbohydrates in it. So what you would do is you would cut the root off, cut it into smaller pieces, and then roast it, slow roast it, just like you would coffee. And then you grind it up and you use it as a decaffeinated coffee, or just mix it with your regular coffee to add flavor. This plant has been used for coffee since Napoleon times, and we're going to talk some more about the history of chicory and coffee. But it's a really neat plant. It's one that, if you want to explore, you have to be out early in the morning to see it, because, as I said, it starts to shut down in the afternoon. I'm a coffee junkie, I'll admit it. I was very surprised to learn that this roadside weed has been used to make coffee for hundreds of years. If you've been to New Orleans, to the French Quarter, you've surely heard of a restaurant called Café du Monde. They've been roasting and selling their chicory coffee since the 1860s. If you haven't been there, I highly suggest you do, and you can get this in your local grocery store. It's about 10 o'clock, which means these flowers are closing up, and it's time for me to head home and have a cup of this delicious coffee. I hope you enjoyed today's program. If you did, please click like and subscribe, and comment below and let me know what videos you'd like me to do in the future. Until next time, get out and explore.